Hey everybody, Edo here, and I am excited because I'm going to be talking about Pencil First Games, a little retrospective on 2017, and talking about upcoming games in 2018. For those who don't know, Pencil First Games is my board game publishing company. We're Kickstarter driven and small. I keep saying we, but it's just me. It's not like there are any employees, but Pencil First Games is a company that collaborates and works with different designers and artists and partners and tons of people of different sorts to make games that I hope people really enjoy and love and have fun with. For most part, most of the older games are sold out. With the exception of Herbaceous, which I'll get into, most games have their run with the Kickstarter, fulfill the Kickstarter, and then some number go to retail. But Liftoff was already sold out before 2017, but we also saw Gem Pack cards selling out this year. Hard to find. This is like, I had to go find this copy because I don't have any more. Siblings Trouble, maybe there's 20 or 30 copies left, pretty much done. Heroes and Tricks didn't get a reprint, so there's probably only 30 or 40 copies left. So by and large, in 2017, a lot of these older titles, I mean, Heroes and Tricks launched in 2017 as well, have sold out of that initial run. And given dynamics in the market, you know, as of today, don't look like they're going to get a reprint. However, there's some surprises, and I'll talk about 2018. So I guess what I mean to say is, in many of these cases, I expect to go back to Kickstarter and do something new with these titles, but they don't just, in and of themselves, have enough success where you could just print them again, absent of Kickstarter. The only game that's had that exception is Herbaceous. So Herbaceous came out, and Herbaceous has been Pencil First Games hit this year. Very successful Kickstarter, great fulfillment, got to retail, sold out first month, second print just about sold out, working on a third print. So it's been cool to see Herbaceous be successful, and really it's a great game and well, it bringing a lot of happiness to a lot of people. Had my first localized copy. This is Polish, working on deals in 2018, hopefully getting some more languages in there. Well, international deals are paying. Other neat thing, not Pencil First, but Murder Crows, which is the first game I designed, published by Atlas Games. They did a second edition tarot cards, really cool. I'm super excited that this has made it to the market. So that's really been 2017, and obviously there's been the league videos and the Gaming with Edo and all those things, but the other thing from Pencil First is there was 2 Kickstarters. I guess I'll start over here. So, the Legendary Creatures was first, but there's Sunset Over Water. This is the first print from the line. You can see a video, an unboxing video, but this will be hitting retail. Also, it's going to go to backers first, of course. Looking like March, April. I just want to. I don't have it. They're not stateside yet, but then should be hitting retail soon thereafter, which I'm excited about. This is from the same team that made Herbaceous, and it was just an absolute pleasure to work on. And then over here, we have Legendary Creatures, which is first big box game since Liftoff, and it is a beast. The quality, it's upside down, came out amazing. Really, this is a rich, complex game with lots of moments and fun and replayability. There's so much going on here. Christopher Ham did a great job on the design, and so I really am excited to see what people think when they get it in their hand and they can play. So those both, and that's going to hit about backers about the same time and retail about the same time. So those 2 titles are sort of Pencil First Games 2018 release titles, though I am hoping to get a couple Q4 in with Kickstarter, so we'll talk about that. So these are the games that hopefully you all know and love, but let's talk about 2018, shall we? So a ton is going on in 2018, and sometimes I don't know what I'm more excited about. And certainly if you're one of the people working on these different titles with me, just know I love you all. But if you don't know, philosophically, I don't like going to Kickstarter until I feel like the game and the product is well in hand, understood, plays great, we solve the art problems or the production problems. Like, part of doing a fantastic job on a Kickstarter and then fulfilling to backers is coming to Kickstarter with as little risk as possible. So in some ways, I don't have a slate as in a plan for launch or release that's fixed. It bends and moves with how games go. Sometimes things slow down, sometimes things speed up, and there isn't much, I don't plan a Kickstarter until I feel good about the product. And a lot of products I talk about, I'm super excited about, but they aren't at a point where I could say the Kickstarter is this day. So basically, I'm going to be talking about average time frames they're going to be coming out, and I could be right, I could be wrong, because I'll hold it. If it's not ready, we'll hold it. There's so much work involved. Let's make it go well. And I probably, rather than, we can go through the bags and the prototypes and things like that. I got them all here, but I don't think holding up a bunch of plastic bags is that interesting, though maybe for another video it would be. I'll probably throw some things up on screen as appropriate, and we can go from there. There are two special games, different releases coming out next year that are pencil first games, sorta, and sorta not. So the first one, and what's likely to be the first Kickstarter I'm going to be involved in 2018, though it's not pencil first games, is a game by the name of Heroes Welcome. If you haven't seen some of the material on Heroes Welcome, it is awesome. Such a fun conceit. The idea is you are playing as goblin merchants, and heroes come out of the dungeon with loot, and what you're doing is you're buying their loot from them and giving them money, and then you're selling them services to get that in beer. You're selling them stuff to get that money back, and then they're broke. So they're broke, and they got to go back into the dungeon. Meanwhile, it's the world. You then take those materials you bought, you craft them, and you turn them into weapons for the bad guys, and you load up the dungeon with the bad guys. And then there's this actually little automated track where the heroes then come out with their loot again, and you try again, and you want to be the best merchant of the land. It's also got an interesting worker placement, but you're moving around the town, and what you're doing is using shops and closing them, and other people then have to. So it's like opening and closing shops, and it's just super fun. It's Monkey Jump Games. It's a collaboration with Marc LeBlanc, who's the designer, Pencil First Games, and Thomas Denmark with Night Owl Studios to bring it together. And Thomas who worked on Murder of Crows. Anyway, the point is, it's going to be a Monkey Jump Games. Pencil First Games will probably be on the box somewhere. I've been heavily involved, particularly on production and Kickstarter and that kind of thing. So that'll be coming out, but as that company. But I'm super excited about it. It's cool. Probably the first one. It's the one that's like, let's get these fixes in and get it to reviewer type array. So that's the one interesting one. The next one, which has a little bit more art, so I'm a little more foggy on what's going to be happening to it. But the next one is Unkindness of Ravens. Now, Unkindness of Ravens is a pseudo-sequel to Murder of Crows. Similar storytelling, you're spelling the word unkind instead of murder, and a number of different dynamics. We also have these Corvid tokens, which work in Ravens, but then we also make it work with Murder of Crows. So what ended up happening, basically, it was the kind of thing we had to work with Atlas Games to bring to life, because it's so related to the original game. And so what we ended up doing was essentially coming to an understanding where we're going to build and make Unkindness of Ravens the way we want, drive it, make an awesome game. We're going to run a Kickstarter. We'll probably have a deluxe version for the Kickstarter, but then at retail, Atlas is going to publish it. So it's a different thing, so it's essentially Pencil First, Night Owl for the Kickstarter. It'll be a Pencil First Games Kickstarter and fulfillment, but then when it goes into stores, it's going to go into stores and very likely going to be similar in size and weight to the second edition Murder of Crows. Excited about that. Again, here's an example though. The game's designed, it's coming together, but the art's been moving, it's not quite done. That could mean it's done in March, it's done in April, it could be September. I don't know, that's what we're working for, but hopefully it's in the front half of the year that we work on that. Pencil first games, so then, setting aside these sort of unique cases, there are 2 huge and exciting releases for the first half of the year, probably Q2. I'm keen to get both of these games, Sunset and Legendary Creatures, to backers. So most of when I talk about these next 2 games is likely April, May, June, earlier better, but again, I want to make sure these are being delivered and that dynamic. So number 1 is Skulk Hollow. If you're not familiar with Skulk Hollow is this game, and I'll take some pieces out here. It got into it was one of the selections for PAX Indie Showcase in South. So we're going to be in San Antonio. Skulk Hollow. This game, one player plays as a giant. Let me see if I can get off camera for a second. As a giant beast guardian creature. The other is playing as a band of fox and heroes, and you're playing. It's a 2-player asynchronous tactics game where one player, it's a map, it's not done right. We're each on different sides. I've got my fox heroes if I'm the fox player, and they're going to be fantastic fox meeples. I'm still getting used to this camera, but they're going to be great. And the other player is playing as the giant, and there are multiple ones. We have huge sort of bear guy, and then we have we have the eagle, and they're all the meeples on this game are just incredible. Working with Helen Moore, and it's amazing. Anyway, it's this fast, evocative game where you're playing. It's card driven, and not dice. I mean, it's a 30-minute play, but one player is this group, one versus many, but the other player is the giant. And one of the things that happens is you attack with the fox, but then you can jump onto the giant, and then you're traveling around on his game board or her game board, trying to take out his gaze or his swing or their different abilities. So you're trying to knock out abilities while he's trying to throw you back down to the ground, and it's awesome. This is designed by Keith Matejka, and it is so much fun. It is really coming along. I love playing this game. It is very fun and exciting. And really, this is one where I'm hoping to just, this is where Kickstarter comes to life, where it helps really make for fantastic meeples and really make for this experience, because it's a hard category. 2-player head-to-head game, it's not for everybody. So, but we want to make an amazing game that people like playing, that fills with a lot of replayability and different characters. So anyway, I'm excited about it. Yet on the other side of the fence, the other game in the first half of the year is Herbaceous Sprouts, or whatever we end up naming it. Sprout, maybe? Seedlings? We're figuring it out. This game is, whereas Sunset Over Water was, the same team that worked on Herbaceous, this is really coming back to Herbaceous and thinking about what we could do with it, how we could make it fun and interesting. And this is a dice game. Woo! Prototype dice. Steve Finn, Beth Sobel, Ben Schulman, Keith Matejka on solo. In Herbaceous Sprouts, you'll be gardening, like in Herbaceous, but as opposed to having your own pots, now everyone's working on a community garden in the middle, and it's your dice which act as your cards, as your seeds. So you're, rather than having your push your luck on your own pots and the herbs in the middle, now you're competing for spots, and the more you have, the better the spot, but you don't want to wait for someone else to get it. So it plays to that herbaceous feel, but it's this really nice dice game where essentially what happens is you're going to um, different varying quality of things here. Let me see if I have here. There are a number of tool cards that have a dice allotment to it, and based on the, and they do different things, and based on the number of players, you'll put out a number of tools and they get dice on top of them. So basically there's a quick, and I said that many, like basically 7 times, there's tools with dice on top of them, the herbs, and you're basically all taking a turn, say it again, taking one of those cards. So it's fast drafting, or, and then you are using your dice much like you would in Herbaceous, all the same, different pairs, etc. It's a lot of fun. I've been enjoying it. Steve knocked it out of the park again. And I think it's not as simple as Herbaceous. It's certainly light, but it's not as amazingly light as Herbaceous is. But it still delivers, I think, on that experience. And actually, I'm thinking about, when it comes to like Kickstarter and thinking it through, I'm actually thinking about, wouldn't it be neat to do a video with my mother, showing her this game and actually filming us both together, because I think it's, it's one step up, and she could explain it, I think, and I could play it, but it would be fun to show how you could introduce this game and continue to level up. So beginning of the year is solid with these titles, super exciting. As we push a little further, there's still some awesome stuff planned for the back half of 2018. One game, codename because it's already taken, Torii, is by Scott Caputo, and I'm working very hard on an artist who I think is going to come and sign on, which I'm super excited about. But Torii is sort of in the same weight as Herbaceous and Sensitive Water, but it's Japanese garden tile laying game. Really fun, really fast, but interesting and nice problem solving and second collection. Awesome design. Really excited for that. The other title I'm super excited about, let me say it this way, as you hear me saying, I'm excited about this, I'm excited about that. Emily, my wife, would make fun of me when I say, I wouldn't be doing any of this if I wasn't super excited about it. Like, if I didn't think these games were awesome and tons of fun and going to be fantastic, I wouldn't be making them. I'm making them because they're awesome. The 2 further out titles, which could hit 18, maybe not, but it'd be neat. One game is Vineyard. If you follow me on Twitter and other things, you may have seen Vineyard a couple times. This is actually by Kat Waddell, the art, who did Gem Pact, but this fantastic, sophisticated, but colorful Vineyard. And the idea is a Vineyard game that feels more intimate and not just a Euro-style economy worker placement game, but sort of a marriage of worker placement, but using the engine of your vineyard as a family and building the vineyard. So it's not cooperative, it's competitive, but the things you're doing, everyone's sort of working on things that help the group, and you're building up the vineyard as you're trying to win. Some of the inspirations is a game like Takenoko, where the characters are moving around, and some of the play of like Concordia. This is with Tim and Ben Eisner, which I am thrilled to be working with. So what a cool game that'll be. Coming along. When I put some images up, but at the same time you get things like big box with Vineyard on tape. But it's going to be neat. The last game I'm going to mention, Vineyard probably isn't going to be the name, right? Like whatever the name is, something related, is Time Empire. Time Empire has been in development for some time. Posted pictures of it. We're really making some headway right now. No art, it's all game, but it is super cool. Lots of pop personality, working with Andy Ashcraft, who worked with on the Siblings Trouble, and it has gone through many iterations. This has been quite a design experimentation, but working on creating a game that has a really great sense of time travel and empire building and just bringing that to life and really being compelling and fun. You know, it's getting there. So again, some of these are further along. So that's Pencil First. I didn't really hide anything. Those are the things in development. Some of them will manifest. I mean, they'll all manifest. When and where, I think, will move around. Certainly, the titles leading the way is Heroes Welcome. Is getting very close. Excited about Heroes Welcome. Though that'll be a Monkey Jump Games collaboration. Skulk Hollow, Herbaceous Sprouts, those are the sort of leading front half of next year, which I hope then release in calendar. Like that's hopefully they fall into 2018. Post Kickstarter, you know, then where does Unkindness of Ravens fall? Where does Torii fall? Where does, you know, Vineyard, Time Empire fall? That you know, some of those could roll into 19. Hoping also to be making more herbaceous, getting into some more languages, and doing that kind of stuff. The thing that I get excited, one of the things I get excited, but one of the things I get excited most about is the idea that people are going to be able to play these games and enjoy them and have the experiences that I've seen myself with playtesters, with people engaging it, and trying to make them all feel fresh, engaging, pretty, high production value, nice execution, clear rules. You know, the stuff that, you know, each and every game we do at Pencil First Games, you know, is trying to do. So, if you're interested in this stuff, in the description I have a newsletter. You can sign up for it. The newsletter, I basically only send it out when I'm going to do a Kickstarter. So it's pretty much just saying, hey, this is the status on a couple projects, and this is launching. You know, last year I think I did 2, maybe 3, and I will probably do 2 or 3 this year. So it's not frequent. You can go to the Pencil First Games Facebook page, or any of these games have their own pages, the earlier ones. Sprouts doesn't yet. Skulk Hollow does. You know, trying to get to conventions too. PAX South, going to be at Origins, going to be at Gamma, going to be at, you know, presumably Gen Con, thinking about some of the other conventions. You know, I don't have it all laid out, but, you know, would love to meet people, say hello, especially, you know, show some of these new games and play them. So, hope you're as excited as I am. I can't believe it. I forgot one other thing. I forgot one thing, which is Liftoff. This was the surprise I mentioned in the beginning, is we had made the expansion. I was trying to figure out how to print and manufacture it. I think I've got it. Double-sided pieces, a number of solutions, but I'm hoping to bring Liftoff back and get a reprint going and an expansion, expanding to 6-player, new tiles, new Liftoff points, and a solo mode. We'll see. Lots to be done on that one, but that's another one I'm excited about.